It's December. Everyone's dropping cash on gifts, random junk stuff that swears it'll fix 2026. But here's the real question. What should you actually buy if you want next year to actually work? Not what feels good under the tree. What moves your life forward? What you buy in your 20s and what you don't can follow you for decades. Buy right, you build momentum. Buy wrong, you build debt, bad health, and habits that quietly wreck your 30s before you even see them coming. This isn't dramatic, it's just math, compounding in the wrong direction. Now I know what you're thinking. Chill out, Will. Not every purchase is some life or death butterfly effect. Fine, I hear you, but I'm still dead serious, because half of you watching are buying smart, building real wealth, and the other half are quietly setting fire to your own future, one receipt at a time. So here's the deal. 6 smartest things you can buy in your 20s, 7 dumbest. Financial moves, everyday items, everything in between. Stack them right and you're set up for life. Get them backwards and you're funding somebody else's retirement instead of your own. Let's get into every single one. Here's the image I want stuck in your head for this entire video. Picture a garage. What you build in there quietly, patiently, in your 20s decides what car you're actually driving at 30. Nobody sees the garage. Everybody sees the car. But the garage is where it's actually won or lost. Quick confession before we go further. This channel sits at 67,000 subscribers and I could not for the life of me stop myself from working the number 67 into this video somewhere. It's embarrassing. Even a guy making a money video about discipline isn't immune to a little brain rot. If you're serious about not wasting your 20s, subscribe now, fellas. This is the stuff nobody explains at Sunday dinner, the stuff you find out the hard way at 34 instead of learning it tonight for free. Alright, garage is loaded, let's start filling it. Number 1 is coming up right now. I've got a guy I know, we'll call him Mike, and Mike buys everything to impress people he doesn't even like. New shoes for strangers at the gym, a car he can't afford for coworkers who forgot his name by Friday. Keep him in mind, because Mike shows up again, and it does not end well for his garage. Before the list, you need the framework, or you'll just be guessing at every purchase for the rest of your life. 3 letters, ROI, return on investment. And I don't just mean financial, I mean life return. Does this thing make you healthier, sharper, calmer, richer, or does it just sit there costing you? Ask this before every single purchase. Does it make you healthier? Does it make you smarter? Does it save you time? Does it make you money? Does it remove friction from your day? If the honest answer is yes, that's a smart buy. If the only answer is people will notice, that's a warning sign. Here's a reversal for you. You think buying nice things builds respect. Actually, buying things purely to impress someone else is almost always negative ROI. You're spending real money, today's money, to rent a few seconds of admiration from someone who forgets you by the parking lot. That's not investing. That's leasing your own self-worth. Buying cheap feels smart until it isn't. Cheap things break. Cheap things need replacing every few months. And every replacement is money leaving your account that a slightly better purchase would have kept there. Sometimes the cheapest option on the shelf is quietly the most expensive decision you'll make all year. Flip side. Quality usually costs more the day you buy it, but far less across the years you actually use it. A tool that lasts a decade beats 3 cheap versions of the same tool bought over that same decade. Spend once, spend right, and stop feeding the replacement cycle forever. Smart buy number 1. A genuinely good mattress and pillow. This sounds boring, I know, but it might matter more than your diet or your workout routine combined. You spend a third of your life lying on this thing. Most guys in their 20s treat sleep like an afterthought, and it costs them more than they realize. Here's the chain. Good mattress means good sleep. Good sleep means real energy. Real energy means you can actually focus. Focus means better work, and better work means more money. It's a straight line from your pillow to your paycheck, and almost nobody in their 20s draws that connection. Remember Mike from earlier. Mike slept on a broken hand-me-down mattress for 6 years because a good one felt like an unnecessary expense. Therefore, he was tired, constantly foggy at work, and wondered why his career felt stuck, while guys with worse resumes got promoted past him. It wasn't talent. It was exhaustion. Here's a stat that should bother you. People will drop $2,000 on a weekend vacation without blinking, then refuse to spend $800 on a mattress they'll use every single night for the next decade. That's not frugal. That's upside down priorities, and it's costing you thousands in lost energy. Small item, big consequence. Good shoes protect your knees, your posture, your back. Cheap $30 running shoes off the internet might save you money today, but by your late 20s, you're paying a chiropractor instead. And that bill is a lot bigger than the shoes ever were. Cheap gear now quietly becomes an expensive body later. Same logic with your chair. You're sitting for hours every day, working, gaming, half pretending to work, while watching videos like this one. A decent chair protects your spine and actually makes you more productive. I sat in a stiff wooden chair for years wondering why my back hurt constantly. Never again. Back to the garage. Every one of these items, the mattress, the shoes, the chair, they're the tools you keep in there. Nobody sees them from the outside, but they're exactly what determines whether the car you're building actually runs when you need it to, or breaks down right when it matters most. Smart buy number 2. Invest in a genuinely good computer. When I quit my job to build something of my own, I was running a 6-year-old laptop that crashed editing video, crashed running code, crashed the moment I opened more than 3 browser tabs. That old machine was actively fighting me every single day. That crashing laptop wasn't just annoying, it was expensive. I was losing close to an hour a day fighting frozen software and restarting crashed programs. An hour a day, every workday for a year is over 200 hours gone. That's real money, if your laptop is how you actually earn a living. Here's the pattern interrupt. For a lot of you, your laptop and your phone aren't just gadgets. They're literally where money gets made now. That's where you learn skills, build things, manage your entire life. Starving that tool to save a few $100s is starving your own income at the source. Smart buy number 3. Invest in your body, and I mean the boring preventive stuff too. Not just the gym membership everyone assumes, dentist appointments, eye exams, regular checkups, the unglamorous maintenance most guys in their 20s skip entirely. Because nothing hurts yet, which is exactly the problem. Nothing hurting yet is not the same as nothing being wrong. Catch a problem early and it's a small fix. Ignore it through your 20s and it can balloon into tens of thousands of dollars in medical bills by your 40s, plus years of your life spent managing something that used to be preventable. Loss framing at its most literal. Your body sends the bill eventually. Small moves compound here too. I picked up a fitness tracker this year. And now I only book travel stays with a gym in-house or nearby, because I know myself, and if it's inconvenient, I skip it. I even put a treadmill at my parents' house, so brutal Wisconsin winters stop being my excuse. Here's a reversal worth sitting with. You think discipline is about raw willpower, grinding through temptation every single day. Actually, real discipline is about designing your life so you barely need willpower at all. Gym nearby, food already planned, distractions removed. The disciplined guy isn't stronger, he's just better set up. If you've made it this far into the video, you're not the guy this list is trying to save. You're already trying, already paying attention, already ahead of most people your age. Good. That matters more than you think. Now keep going because the sharpest points are still ahead of you. Smart buy number 4. A reliable, boring, fuel-efficient car. Not a German-engineered flex, not a Mustang, not a car with a $600 or $700 monthly payment. Your 20s aren't about showing off in a parking lot, they're about not going quietly broke while everyone thinks you're doing great. Here's a number that should genuinely alarm you. The average car payment in America right now would make a lab rat look like a financial genius by comparison. And wait until you hear what a similar mistake almost cost me down the line. Because money mistakes rarely announce themselves at the moment you make them. My rule, buy a reliable used car in cash if you possibly can. Not the cheapest option, that breaks down constantly, and eats your savings in repairs. Something dependable, cheap to maintain, that lets your actual money stay invested, instead of vanishing into a mechanic's shop every 3 months. I've done this twice. Never regretted it. Smart buy number 5. And yes, here's the financial lecture you knew was coming. Retirement and investment accounts. This is buying time itself. Every dollar you put in during your 20s has decades to grow before you ever touch it, which is a head start almost nobody your age is actually using. $300 a month in your 20s turns into thousands of dollars a month in impact by the time you'd actually need it. Most people skip this because it feels slow and boring right now. Therefore, they spend the rest of their life trying to catch up, and Father Time does not lose that race. Smart buy number 6, knowledge. This is the one that multiplies everything else on this list. Books, courses, better software, an upgraded AI subscription that helps you work and learn faster. Knowledge purchases increase your earning power directly because you become more valuable the more you actually know how to do. Quick pattern interrupt on college. The case for a 4-year degree has arguably never been weaker than it is right now in the age of AI. That doesn't mean skip it blindly, it means actually weigh the return on that specific degree against the job market waiting for you on the other side. This is how a $50 purchase turns into $500 a month later. A course that teaches a skill. Software that automates a task you used to do by hand. Gear that lets you start a side hustle on weekends. Knowledge compounds in a way almost nothing else you buy actually does. Look, I get it. Every generation says their 20s were the hardest, and honestly, that's mostly true. Every era has its own weight to carry, but here's what's genuinely different for you right now. The cost of debt, of delay, of skipping the boring financial stuff compounds faster today than it ever has before. Alright, flip the list. 7 dumbest things to buy in your 20s. Starting with the big one. Anything on debt you actually cannot afford. Roughly 80% of the financial disasters I've watched people walk into started with a car payment that felt fine at the time. It was never actually fine. Here's a real number to anchor yourself to. Never spend more than 30% of your gross income on housing. Never more than 10% on a car. Get both lower if you can without sacrificing safety or quality. Cross those lines and you've got almost no room left for freedom or flexibility. Dumb buy number 2. And this one has two sides. Buying anything too cheap or anything too luxurious. Too cheap means constant replacing and hidden costs, like those shoes wrecking your knees. Too luxurious means paying triple for a name on the tag that does absolutely nothing for your actual life. That $8 coffee habit and the $800 handbag when an $80 version does the exact same job, these are financial landmines disguised as little dopamine hits. Wealthy people can buy that stuff off their asset profits. Broke people buy it off their paycheck, and that's the difference that actually matters. Dumb buy number 3. Going out culture as a weekly habit instead of an occasional celebration. $40 one night a week doesn't feel like much in the moment. But $40 every weekend for 10 straight years is close to a down payment on an actual house. Quietly gone one forgettable Friday at a time. Run the math with me. $40 one night out, nothing crazy. Now stack that up. For 10 straight years, you are not looking at pocket change anymore. You are looking at $30,000 gone, no receipt, no memory of where it went. That number right there is a down payment on a house, sitting in some bartender's tip jar instead of your bank account. The bar never built your future. It just quietly borrowed your money and never gave it back. Remember the garage I asked you to picture at the start of this whole video? Every dollar you spend either goes into that garage, building the engine, or it leaks out the door and disappears. Going out every weekend does not put a single bolt into that engine, it just burns fuel your future car was supposed to use. You can still have fun, fellas, but know exactly which nights are building the garage and which ones are just draining the tank for nothing. Dumb thing to buy number 4, and this one has wrecked more men than any car payment ever could: gambling and sports betting. It is mathematically rigged against you from the jump. For every $100 you put in, the machine is built to hand you back 95, maybe 97. That gap never closes, it only compounds against you. Over half of American men now have a betting account in their pocket. That is not entertainment anymore, fellas. That is a slow leak with a scoreboard. I need to tell you about the time it got me too, because discipline does not make you immune. My extended family had a condo in Las Vegas, so my cousins, aunts, uncles, and I went down for a weekend. I walked in with $1,000 in my wallet, feeling untouchable. We had a few drinks, hit the slot machines, wandered to the blackjack table, just laughing, not paying attention. By the time I looked up, my balance read 0, and my wallet had nothing left inside it. The next morning, I sat on the porch with my cousin, both of us hungover and quiet. I genuinely felt like the biggest idiot God ever let walk through a door. $1,000, gone overnight, for nothing I could point to and say that was worth it. My cousin has a kid on the way now. I have a portfolio I actually care about protecting. That trip reminded me that your guard can slip at any age, and the casino is built to catch it the second it does. Dumb thing to buy, number 5, and it is basically gambling wearing a business suit. Any get-rich-quick scheme promising you $50,000 a month by next year. If it sounds guaranteed, it is either a wild gamble or a straight-up scam. There is no third option. Random coins? Some app told you about this morning. Options trading because a stranger online flexed his gains. None of it replaces actually building something. Your 20s should be about skipping the need to gamble entirely, not chasing a shortcut around it. I know a guy from my old office who saw an ad promising $80,000 a month from dropshipping, guaranteed, easy passive. He drained nearly all of his savings into ads and inventory for a product nobody actually wanted. 6 months later, he was refreshing a dashboard, showing 0 sales and a maxed out credit card. He is not stupid, fellas, he was just impatient, and impatience is exactly what these schemes are built to hunt. The only passive income in that story was leaving his account and landing in someone else's. Dumb thing to buy, number 6, the trendy gadget you just had to have. The drone, the massage gun, the air fryer, the VR headset staring at you from a graveyard shelf in your closet. I bought a VR headset for game development, used it twice, and now it collects dust like a monument to my own impulse. Your 20s are packed with hype traps designed to catch you the second an ad flashes past your thumb. If it ends up forgotten in a closet, it was never really an investment. Here is the fix, and it costs you nothing but a little patience. Before you buy anything that is not a true necessity, wait 1 full week. Let the ad fade, let the dopamine cool off, and then ask yourself honestly if you still want it. Most of the time the urge just evaporates on its own, and you keep your money for something that actually compounds. This is the same reason they tell you never to grocery shop hungry. Hype fades fast. Real need never does. Dumb thing to buy, number 7, and this one hides in plain sight. Subscriptions. $9 here, $15 there, $7 somewhere else, each one dressed up as just the cost of a coffee. Alone they look harmless. Stacked together every month, every year, they quietly bleed thousands out of your account without a single dramatic moment to notice. Go audit your bank statement tonight and ask which of these actually make you money or save you time, and which ones are just autopilot theft you agreed to once and forgot. One bonus note before we close this out. Insurance can be the smartest purchase on this entire list, or one of the dumbest, depending entirely on which kind you buy. Health insurance, renter's insurance, real disability insurance, solid car coverage, these protect you from the disaster that actually ends careers. But extended warranties, phone protection add-ons, and shady life insurance policies pushed by a salesman on commission can bleed you slowly for decades. Same word, insurance, opposite outcome. Read what you are signing before you sign it. Remember that guy I told you about earlier who chased the dropshipping dream and lost his savings chasing it? He did not disappear after that, fellas. He actually rebuilt. He took a boring job, automated his subscriptions down to 3, started dropping money into a retirement account every single month, and stopped touching his phone every time an ad screamed at him. 2 years later, he owns actual shares in actual companies instead of a dead product nobody bought. The garage stayed empty for a while. Now it is finally full. Eventually, if you do this right, the smartest purchase you will ever make is buying your own time back. Hiring the cleaner, the consultant, the chef, whatever frees up hours you can no longer manufacture, no matter how much money you throw at the problem. That is the whole point of the garage we talked about since minute 1, fellas. What you quietly build in there decides the car you are driving, the freedom you are living at 30. If even one of these hit home tonight, smash the like. It is the only reason videos like this keep getting made instead of more fluff. Tell me down below which number you are starting with tonight. Subscribe and join the crew, fellas. I do this every single week and your 30s will thank you. Next week we're breaking down the one financial mistake that quietly ends more marriages than infidelity does.